Welcome to the Ignite Podcast, the only healthcare marketing podcast that digs into the digital strategies and tactics that help you accelerate growth. Each week, Cardinal's experts explore innovative ways to build your digital presence and attract more patients. Buckle up for another episode of Ignite.
Hey everybody, I'm really excited to have you guys on. We've got John McAlpin with us here today. And John, I've always regarded him as the best technical SEO guy in the country. Now our clients are starting to figure it out too, but he's not just limited to technical SEO. He does all of the content strategy for our big healthcare clients and link building, etc. So the guy's a whiz. You're about to learn from one of the best in the business. I'm excited to have him on. John, welcome to Ignite.
Thanks for having me. You read my script perfectly.
No introduction needed. Your reputation precedes you. All right, so let's get cracking here. So today, I want to talk all about mobile first ranking and core web vitals because they're going to be big this year. First of all, introduce it to us. What is mobile first ranking? Is that different than what's currently happening now?
So before it was mobile first indexing. And that's technically what this is. And so Google would crawl the mobile version using their mobile crawler of your website. And before desktop, before anything else like this, now it's mobile only indexing. So they're only going to be looking at the mobile version of your site. So if there's a difference in content, images, whatever it is, there's a difference between the desktop and mobile version of your website, Google will only see what's on mobile. So if there's key information missing from your mobile site, Google's not going to know about it.
Okay. And what about websites like Cardinal that are using the AMP stuff?
AMP will still be crawled. AMP will still be preferred because if AMP is what's dynamic, is what's showing up for mobile, that's what they're going to crawl.
But AMP has restricted a lot of my content, right? I don't think I have like a quarter of what's on my full desktop. So do I need to load up my AMP pages with everything on them now?
So most of what AMP is loading to is it's reorganizing images and text. What they're really stripping out is a lot of other functionality around JavaScript and things like that. So as long as your content's not being dynamically loaded through JavaScript, you should still see it on your mobile.
All right, beautiful. Okay, just need to make sure all my healthcare stuff, my content is loading because it's just stripping out JavaScript, web forms, call rail track, and all that fun stuff. Okay, I got it. All right, got it. Mobile first ranking. So what kind of impact on all the healthcare orgs listening to this? What kind of impact is this going to have on them?
So one of the downsides to the healthcare industry is that a lot of people are behind the times. They have older sites. So if they have mobile issues at all with their sites, there could be some issues and impact there. If they try to get too fancy with different experiences for mobile versus desktop, they could see a negative impact there. However, there's been a big wave, we've seen it internally, a big wave of healthcare organizations really taking the charge on their digital presence and hiring good agencies who are going to have them prepared and could see a positive benefit.
Okay. So if they get ahead of this, we know our healthcare orgs are notoriously slow to catch up to the marketing innovation, but if they get ahead of it, when the stuff starts rolling out, they actually could see some positive change is what you're saying.
Absolutely. And mobile first indexing is already a thing. It's already happening. Where we're going to see probably the bigger shift is in May when we have Core Web Vitals roll out.
Oh, don't tease me, bro. Okay, we'll get to it in 1 second. That's going to be a perfect segue. How do they check? How can healthcare orgs prepare? What should they be doing besides hiring Cardinal?
The first step is to look in your Google Search Console. If you don't have it, get it set up. Let Google crawl your site and check your mobile coverage report and see which URLs are being crawled by Google. Okay. Then do a mobile friendly test tool and you'll have a little preview window and you can see what the content they're seeing is. And if you're seeing content missing, it's a big sign that there could be some issues there.
Okay. All right, beautiful. And so you teased us a little bit. What's the Core Web Vitals thing that you mentioned? Is that the same thing as mobile first ranking? What is that?
It is not the same thing. This is less about mobile friendly versus how efficiently your website loads on mobile devices. Now, in the past, we've relied on Google's page speed insights, and it was always about, in 2018, they released the page speed update where you really had to have a fast website. Right. And Core Web Vitals is the next step. It's the 2.0 version of that. It's not just how fast your website loads, it's how efficiently. Does content shift around? Have you ever been on a news site, Alex, and you're trying to read an article and then an ad loads and all of a sudden you're right here and it shifts up and then you just kind of find where you're reading.
Yeah, all the time. The ads mess it up. Yeah.
So that's called cumulative layout shift. And they're now accounting for that too. And they can actually measure it. And so they're adding in these new metrics to see how efficiently your website is loading. And so in May of this year, they're going to release this update. And if you have a score between 90 to 100, which is really well, it's where we want to be, you're going to get a pretty big ranking boost. Anyone who's not in there is not going to receive that ranking boost.
Okay. And what are some of the penalties? So it sounds like interstitial ads will have a penalty on this because they're going to move your stuff around. Or as long as the ads don't move things around and it loads efficiently, it's okay. Like, what about my guys with ads on their site?
So ads on the site are going to be the ones that are going to be hit the most. But unfortunately, most websites are not going to qualify for this. Because here's the thing. The average website is in the middle range between 50 to 80, and even below that sometimes. So most people aren't going to qualify for this, which means it's a huge opportunity for people to really invest into their web architecture to get better ranking boosts.
All right, I got you. And what are some of the things they need to do on their web ranking architecture? What do they need to do? What if I'm a healthcare org, what do I need? Mm-hmm. What do I need to make sure of, or send a list of notes to my SEO guy or gal?
So first, you need to do a speed audit, and then an SEO is going to be able to tell you, hey, these are some quick, because either there's a couple of quick fixes, they really get you up there, or in some cases, you need a complete rebuild. And sometimes the design's friendly, but maybe they bought a theme off Theme Forest, and they're just using this really bulky theme, and it needs to be completely rebuilt. Because a lot of these pre-built themes and anything that's a drag and drop, or what we call the WYSIWYG in the industry, those are really heavy themes that are very slow. And so what we're seeing is that a lot of healthcare organizations are investing in rebuilding their website to be a lot more efficient.
Okay. All right. Well, from the ground rebuild, where do I go to check out my score? Is that in Search Console?
So in Search Console, they do have a Core Web Vitals graph where you can see which percentage of your site which URLs are affected, and it breaks it down by subfolders so you can see the similar links. If you want to get specific on find out exactly what's wrong, you can actually go to PageSpeed Insights, which is a free Google tool, and it'll tell you some quick opportunity and quick wins that you could do to optimize your site. If you want to get more granular, go to the Inspect tool in Google Chrome and run a Lighthouse audit. That will get also a little bit more granular. Very similar. It's the same tool that Google uses.
Okay, so it's not just about being fast. It's about loading efficiently. Mm-hmm. Okay, and this skill set you're talking about, for my healthcare orgs that can't afford to go hire an agency, what should they do? They go to Upwork, and what do they type in? Is it like page speed optimizer? Is it an SEO person, a developer? It seems like the confluence of a bunch of different skills. Where do they go to hire?
Well, you need to hire an honest auditor, because some people will say, hey, I can optimize your speed, but they'll optimize it for one tool and not the other. And in reality, we need to be optimizing for Google because they're the ones who are going to control the rankings.
Okay.
And so if there's only a few quick things you need, you could hire a technical SEO to fix that. But a real auditor may say, hey, you need a ground up rebuild, and then you need a developer, not an SEO.
I got you. Honest auditor. Okay. All right. Back up the honesty claims with quantifiable numbers is what I always say. Make sure they've got case studies and proven returns on other sites. John, I appreciate anything else the audience needs to know about mobile first ranking or Core Web Vitals. Say that 5 times fast. What else? Anything else they need to know?
Test. Make sure that you have your numbers in order. Make sure you have a scalable infrastructure, and don't get crazy with the plugins and the gadgets on your website.
Yeah, don't get crazy with the plugins. Those are often the ones that bog things down. Guys and gals, you got till May. To roll this out. You're going to be penalized. All right, guys. John, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Ignite. Interested in keeping up with the latest trends in healthcare marketing? Subscribe to our podcast and leave a rating and review. For more healthcare marketing tips, visit our blog at cardinaldigitalmarketing.com.